Conor McGregor has had a great career in the UFC, despite the fact that he flies in private jets, wears Gucci mink coats, and drives a Rolls-Royce. This is true despite his loud mouth and cruel trash talk. Today, we'll look back at 6 of his best fights in the Octagon. Number 6. Conor McGregor vs. Dustin Poirier, UFC 178. This fight felt different at the time. Before this fight, Conor was a brazen striker with an unusual style who had just joined the UFC. But taking on the Diamond meant that there was a lot more competition. Many of McGregor's fights are won by his mental toughness, and this is one of the better examples. During the media rounds and press briefings during fight week, it was clear that Poirier was upset with how McGregor was acting. Poirier seemed more worried about putting Conor to sleep and stopping the hype train than about winning. Even during the face-off right before the fight, Conor had a smile on his face. Poirier was making fun of him to get him to come join in the fun. As soon as the fight started, it happened quickly. Just a few minutes into the first round, Conor hit with his classic left hand. The shot hit Poirier right behind his ear, which is a weak spot for fighters. After that shot, he continued to attack from the ground until the referee stopped the fight. Number 5. Conor McGregor vs. Chad Mendes, UFC 189. After moving up in the rankings, McGregor was set to fight Jose Aldo for the featherweight title. But Aldo was hurt and couldn't defend his title. This meant that an interim belt would be on the line when he fought Chad Mendes. Before the fight, the big question was whether Conor could beat a top-level wrestler. In his previous fights, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, and others who were known for their striking skills were among his opponents. Mendes, on the other hand, had a different style, which made people wonder about McGregor's game in that area. In the first round, the Irishman had a lot of problems. Mendes was able to take McGregor down and hit him with some good blows while he was on top. Fair enough, McGregor was also able to land some blows from the ground. If Mendes was going to play ground and pound, McGregor made sure he paid with bottom elbows. During the second round, Mendes' gas tank ran out. As he got weaker, McGregor got stronger, and Conor was able to move Mendes away from the cage and hit him with a straight left hand that put him on his knees. That night, it was announced that McGregor was the interim featherweight champion. Number 4. Conor McGregor vs. Nate Diaz 2, UFC 202. The first fight McGregor had with Nate Diaz was a wake-up call. It happens all the time to the best, except Khabib. McGregor was very dangerous in the cage because he was so sure of himself, and that may have cost him the first fight with Diaz. In the first round of their first fight, McGregor won, but it looked like he thought he could beat Diaz early on, and Diaz kept going. He kept his cool and shot back. McGregor lost in the UFC for the first time. Most people thought Conor would be more cautious in the second fight. Conor knew he had to save his energy just in case the fight went all 5 rounds. Conor hit Diaz with several left hands in the first round, which knocked him out. He also worked hard on Diaz's front leg. In the second round, McGregor kept his lead. At the end of round 2, Diaz fought back. The two people hit each other for all 5 rounds. McGregor would hit Diaz with huge elbows that would put him out. The person from Stockton would put on a shot and put more pressure on the ball. McGregor had to back down more than once. At the end of the night, McGregor's hand was still raised. Even though it wasn't his cleanest performance, it was still one of his most famous wins. Number 3. Conor McGregor vs. Cowboy Donald Cerrone, UFC 246. Some people questioned McGregor's choice to fight Cerrone, especially since they were both the same weight. They both said they wanted to fight for the lightweight title, but they chose to do so at 170 pounds. But they had been barking at each other for a while, and it looked like they were going to fight. It also gave McGregor a chance to honor Cowboy's career by putting him in the main event. In the beginning, they went straight at each other. Cowboy tried to take Conor down, but Conor threw his hips at him to stop him. We didn't know it at the time, but Cowboy was badly hurt by the hip strike. In the next few seconds, they got close in the middle of the octagon. McGregor hit Cerrone in the face with hard shoulder shots. When they went their separate ways, it was clear that Cerrone had been badly hurt. As Cerrone tried to get himself back together, McGregor hit Cowboy in the chin with a hard left kick. When Conor jumped on the hurt legend, the fight was over in just 40 seconds. The fight was a good sign that McGregor was in good shape and on track to defend his title. Number 2. Conor McGregor vs. Eddie Alvarez, UFC 205. This performance is more than good enough to take the top spot. It's almost as good as it can get. The fight was brave, but the act was even more so. Conor had never tried to hide the fact that he wanted to fight in the 155-pound weight class. After he won gold at 145 pounds, Conor set his sights on a second belt. Fighters have won belts in different weight classes in the past, but no one has ever held two belts at the same time. It would be something new for the company. McGregor is who he is, though. He has courage. He tries new things. After Alvarez beat Rafael dos Anjos in an amazing fight, McGregor asked Eddie Alvarez to fight for the lightweight title. Alvarez was a hard-hitting boxer, but he was likely discredited because he was a good martial artist. The Notorious ran over Alvarez. In the first round, he knocked Alvarez down several times. McGregor stayed calm and at ease the whole time. His left hand had power that seemed to come from myths. Every time Alvarez hit, Conor would just disappear. As soon as Alvarez was done, McGregor got right back in his face. The fight was over after McGregor's amazing combo in the second round. He made 4 or 5 straight shots, leaving Alvarez open. It was the best kind of high art. Even so, his performance after the fight on the mic was even better. Number 1. Conor McGregor vs. Jose Aldo Jr., UFC 194. It was his best performance, and the fewest words are needed to explain it. Jose Aldo was the best fighter in the UFC for his weight. A terrible creature. And most people would agree that the argument was over before it even started. Before their fight, McGregor insults Aldo a lot with his words. It was the peak of psychological warfare. In fight sports, people often ask, did he step over the line? McGregor made fun of Aldo's country and insulted him in his own language. Aldo was furious about what McGregor did. Joe Rogan saw that the mental warfare had taken its toll when the fight started. He said that Aldo looked stiff, but that Conor looks relaxed and happy. As Rogan said it, McGregor made the perfect shot. That's the shot. It was the fault of the left hand. McGregor thought he was going to land, and he did. There are 13 seconds. All that had to happen was that. McGregor not only beat the titan of the division, but he also caught the attention of fight fans all over the world. McGregor wasn't just a show of strength. He'd made up his mind to stay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like it and subscribe to this channel for more interesting information.